Welcome to the TIP Annual Conference 2025, themed The King's Mandate, Influence, Impact, Inheritance. Intentional parents from across the globe, are you ready? From rocking chairs in Lagos to night shifts in the UK, from prayer closets in Nairobi to kitchens in Toronto. Welcome to the largest online parenting conference on the planet. 8 years ago, we lit up with just a stack and 5 people in the room. Today, we are blazing with millions streaming live from across the nations. This is no ordinary event. This is heaven's assignment, a divine call, a holy convocation. Over the years, we have had testimonies of marriages being restored, prodigals returning home, and children finding purpose because one parent caught a revelation right here. Remember Queen Esther, obscure, ordinary, but positioned by heaven for such a time as this. Just like her, you have been positioned to speak life into a culture of confusion, to model wholeness in a fractured world, to pass down living legacy of faith, of courage, and of bold love. This is the King's mandate to shape culture, to leave impact that outlives you, and to secure heaven's mandate. In 7 power-packed days with 40 world-class speakers, hearts will be ignited, homes transformed, and nations impacted. This is your moment to lean in and receive divine wisdom. Engage by commenting, by asking questions, and of course, by praying as you process. Transmit it, pass the torch to children, to your mentees, and to your cycle of influence. Because when the live stream ends is when the real conference begins, at dinner tables, at bedtime devotions, on school runs, and in daily choices. This is where legacies are built. Intentional parents, are you ready to embrace the King's mandate? If you are right where you are, lift your voice right there and say, I was born for such a time as this. Let heavens record it. Let the nations hear it. And let the 8th year of the TIP Annual Conference officially begin. So, fasten your seatbelt, because together we are about to set the world on fire. My name is Joy Eshimokai. I am the lead coach at Speak Life Academy, and I am the official MC of the Intentional Parents Academy. Welcome to the TIP Annual Conference 2025. Let's execute the King's mandate.
My name is Dr. Pius Akimba. I'm a level 1 year 2 inner circle parent, aka Yada, in cohort 1P, and a team lead in cohort 1P batch. I am resident in Kaduna, Nigeria. I am a biological father of 5 children and 3 grandchildren. I heard of TIP through my darling wife, and without hesitation, after we both attended a course healing from childhood trauma around the mid-year of 2023, we both joined TIP in December 2023. Ever since then, there is no turning back. The inner circle has helped me in self-growth by identifying and challenging my own limiting beliefs and patterns that has impacted my parenting style. It has tremendously helped me in developing self-awareness and emotional intelligence to better navigate parenting challenges. I have had to let go of outdated parenting strategies and embracing new evidence-based approaches. Gain exposure in creating a family value and parenting plan that aligns with my values and children's unique needs. I must confess that intentional parenting is a work in progress, but what is non-negotiable are my achievements thus far, which are personal growth and healing, acquainted with greater level of emotional intelligence, build structures and healthy boundaries in my home, relationships, career and business, build healthier relationships and connection with my adult children. Parenting with intention is helping me raise confidence and capable young minds in this generation. Unlearning, relearning, and growing my family together with more clarity of purpose and not assumption, from chaos to a calm individual. Parenting is all about me.
Welcome to the Reader's Corner, where we believe in the power of a good book to transform lives. I'm Vera Patrick, and I am the founder of the Reader's Corner. At the Reader's Corner, we provide practical strategies, tools, and rewards about building and ways confident,
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks. This and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I can roast, I can gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last. Yeah.
Our newest title, Raising Leaders. This is a quick guide to ignite and sustain your child's love for growth. This guide is designed to give parents the tools and information to create a really friendly environment. Listen up today to grab your copy of Raising Leaders and start building a lasting love for growth in your child's life. Join the Reader's Corner family today, where every visit is towards lighting a life of love.
I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you...
This conference was born out of a burden. It's not just talking parenting. It is to awaken purpose in homes, in families. Because when homes are aligned, nations are transformed. I welcome you to this prophetic journey. It's going to be 7 days of amazing journey. 40 voices, one king's mandate. And I pray that you don't just attend it. I pray that you encounter alignment, instruction, and divine direction for your family. Welcome to the Intentional Parent Academy Annual Conference 2025. This is not just another event. This is a move. My name is Wendy Ologe, and I'm called Africa's #1 parent coach. I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. Beyond all of the titles, I am just a vessel sent on a divine assignment to help you as a parent break generational patterns and raise children who reflect the heart of God. Enjoy the ride and see you at the end.
Hello, amazing TIP family. Are you ready? My name is Funke Kolawole. I am your moderator for this session. How has the TIP annual conference been with you? Are you ready? Yes, welcome to TIP Annual Conference 2025, the King's Mandate, the influence, the imparts, and the inheritance. What was your takeaway from the last session? I believe you got some key points about online safety. Yes, drop it in the comment section. This is the TIP Annual Conference where you are getting value for transformation of your life and that of your children. Yadas, are you in the house? You know how we do it. Where is your fire emoji? We are about to launch into the next section, which is day 6, 5th session with loaded of value. Are you ready? Yes, we are having another coach that is coming to impart our life. She's also a Yada. Yes, I call her my mommy. Yes, you are going to get a lot of value from her. So stay tuned, get your paper and pen ready, just like me, because you are about to step into another level. The team, kindly roll up the bio of our next speaker. Thank you.
Transformation.
Welcome, Ma. We are happy to see you. Welcome, Ma.
You said I'm your mommy.
Yes, so the shoulder to lean on.
Oh,
The listening here, always there. Thank you and welcome aboard, Ma. We are ready to have you and we are ready to have all that God is ready to give us through you. So you have about 40 to 45 minutes while I stay in the backstage. Welcome,
Thank you
Ma.
so much. Thank you. I don't take this privilege for granted. I mean, like, this is a huge opportunity for me. I'm grateful for, being a mentee of Coach Wendy. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have met her in my life. I'm grateful for the possibility that she had shown to me. It's not enough to know you have potential. There's something about seeing it, being able to touch it, being able to, feel it, the tangibility that she brings into my life I'm short of words, and I'm so grateful, Ma, for this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. And I'm so glad to be in your faces for the next 40 to 45 minutes. So let's get to business. When I was preparing for this session, there was a scripture that kept coming to me, which Coach Chinda also brought up. So when he brought it up, I felt like, it was such a big confirmation. It was John chapter 10, verse 10. It says, the thief comes only to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. And that's the ESV version. Now, there are two tales in that story, or in that scripture. There's a tale, or there are two tales. There are two visions, rather. And then there are two voices, a tale of two voices and a tale of two visions. One vision is to kill, one vision is to steal, one vision is to destroy. It's just one. Then the other vision said, I have come, which is the king's mandate, that you may have life and have it abundantly. Now let's break this down. We're talking about overwhelmed to empowered. And I want us to see, let's see practically how, in my bio, we said, I talked to especially stay-at-home moms, because I've been a stay-at-home mom for a couple of years, and it was a decision I made for myself. And when I was coming out of it, I asked myself, I said, I don't want to go back into the rat race. I want to fulfill purpose. And but while I was a stay-at-home mom, there were certain lies that normally come to us, because we're not on the career path. We're not, wearing high heels every day. We wear stained jeans, and our t-shirts are usually stained because we have toddlers, right? So, there are certain lies. And then when I was preparing for this session, it just, the lies were exposed. It says, the thief comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And I came that you may have life. Now, life is not because you're not, when you say life, is whether you are a mother or not, whether you're a mother of toddlers or not, whether you're a mother to adults or not. It doesn't have to be that you are in a certain place to have life. The promise is that you have life and you have it in abundance. So it doesn't matter whether your children are toddlers. It doesn't matter what stage or what season you are. The promise is not a promise to a particular season in your life, whether you're single, whether you're married or what. It's not a particular season. The promise of life and abundance, of you living in fullness, it comes in whatever season. So let's talk about, this season of you have toddlers, you have this, you have that, you're constantly overwhelmed. If there's one thing I hear very commonly in the inner circle parents here, you're the ones I know and you're the ones I love. I am overwhelmed. Constantly, I am overwhelmed. They come into the structure that Coach Wendy has built, and they cannot sit in that structure because your nervous system is used to chaos. So when you come into a place and you see structure, your whole body reacts. You resist. You fight. You constantly say you're overwhelmed. You constantly say, let's see where this overwhelm is coming from. The voice of the thief, or the vision of the thief, comes in this way. It comes in the voice of fear. It comes in the voice of scarcity. And it comes in the voice of self-abandonment. You know that narrative of you're a mom, abandon yourself, self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is love. Just drop everything that you're doing and live for your children. It's the thief's vision. It steals your confidence. It steals your voice. If you listen to me on my Friday live, I keep saying your voice matters. It steals your confidence. It tells you that you are just. It likes to use that word for you. I am just a mom. I am just a parent. But there's nothing just about being a mom. There's nothing just about being the bearer of destiny. That God is partnering with you. You are a co-creator with Him. It is not just. It's a privilege. It's an honor. So you come, you lower your voice. They tell you, shh, shh, shh. It comes with destruction of your identity. So there's a rife, there's a rife narrative that comes with when I'm a mom, I lose myself. No, it is not the shepherd's vision. It is the thief's vision and voice. You are not to lose yourself because you're a mom. It's an apology to why motherhood was created. It's an aberration. It's not something that God created and said, when I create a woman and I make her a mother, I said she should lose herself. That is not God's plan. When God finished creating everything and He rested on the seventh day, what did He say? He looked around and He said, everything I made was good, even motherhood. So you are in a place where God has called good. You are in a place where abundant life can flow to you. But what do you believe? What's your vision? What's the vision and the voice that you're hearing? It tells you you're too much. Sometimes you're like, if you knew me a couple of years ago, you'll be surprised that I'm talking this way, right? Because there was this thing that says, stare at the back. You're a yada, for instance. People are talking in the group. People are making meaningful connections. But you say, no, let me not talk. I want to stay at the back. There's an overwhelm that comes And it's not the overwhelm that God brings. Tells you that you're doing too much. It tells you that you should thrive on hustle. So you are constantly hustling. I call it the hamster wheel. You're constantly in that circle of trying to produce, trying to just, I don't know what it is. You're trying to provide, that you leave your primary assignment. You're trying to be everything for everyone, that you leave your primary assignment. It's an aberration. So he says hustle without wholeness, performance without peace. Hey, performance without peace. So you're constantly performing, but there's no peace. That is not the vision of the shepherd. That is not the king's mandate for you. It keeps you stuck in survival mode. You know, if you've listened to all the speakers in the last few days, you know, it was Uncle Ben who said, you know, who loves to talk about, you know, childhood trauma, you know, things that keep us stuck in cycles, you know, pattern, you will know that you need, if you are here and you are listening and you have been listening, you will know you need to sit down and also do your emotional inheritance mapping, because there are things that we have inherited that we are just living out a script that was written before we were even born. So it didn't start with us, yes, but may it end with you. Performance without peace. You're constantly busy doing what? My mom used to tell me when I was a child. She said, she used to call me busybody, because instead of me to go and wash that plate, I will be there. And I'm tiny, or I used to be tiny, and I'll be there. I'll just be hiding. So she's like, you are looking busy, but you're producing nothing. It's an aberration. It's a vision and a lie of the enemy, of the thief. You may be living the thief's vision if you're constantly overwhelmed. You live in the fossils of past experience, things that didn't start with you. Yes, we know it didn't start with you. When I sat down and I did my own emotional mapping, I realized that there was a lot of things. My mom lost her mom at birth, as I heard, and her own background was rife with so much. When I wrote the story, I cried. I couldn't. It wounded me. I could see where my own mother's wound was coming from. So it didn't start with you. So yes, she may have been loud, but I became timid. She may have been this, but I became the opposite. You will need to sit down and ask yourself, the script that I am living today, was it a script that is in the fossils of experiences that happened before I was born? Before I was born, even before you were born. So the silence, the women who were silenced in your own, in your own lineage, that they now we have that now in our family, we don't talk, women don't talk, women don't rise. In our family, we don't do this. And then it becomes the norm. But was that what you were created for? Is that what you are? Is that the abundant life that we are talking about? Is that the abundant life that the shepherd has come to give to you? Are you living in abundance? Are you living the life of fullness? Are you living that life that says, I am full, I am in abundance? Because that is why the shepherd came to earth. And it does not exclude you because you're a mother. It doesn't exclude you because of any season. Abundance is your portion. Abundance is your inheritance. But there's a thief that keeps telling you that you should shush, you should hush, you should play small, you should stay down, you should stay locked up. Let's continue. But the shepherd's voice, okay, wait, silence your dreams. That's what the enemy will come and say. That's what the thief comes to say. He kills your dream. Silence your voice. Silence your desire. Silence it. Just meet every other person's expectations. Live for other people's expectations for your life, but silence yours. Kai, have you not suffered enough as women? Have you not suffered enough to stay in the background as women? Have we not? Have we not suffered enough to stay silent when our voices can bring healing, when our voices can bring generational abundance? Our voices, what we do, our nurturing, we can heal destinies. But the thief comes and he says, hush, hush, hush. Do we light a lamp and do we hide it under a bushel? And that's what many of us do with our voices. That's what many of us do with our lives. That's what many of us do when we do not rise For every time you rise, you give another woman the permission to rise. I'm seated here because Coach Wendy rose. For every time you rise, you give another woman. You also give your children the permission to rise. I remember when my own daughter was, she was 4 at the time, and she'll come, she'll say, and she'll call this her friend's name. Sorry, I'm not supposed to mention names. She'll call her friend's name. She'll say, this particular, let's call it for the sake of the story, let's call this friend Sarah. Sarah said I shouldn't go outside. Sarah said I shouldn't do this. I said, excuse me. If this my mouse behavior is going to make my child, even in Obodo Ibo, where we are technically disadvantaged because we are the minority, we are, in immigrants. I said, no, these children, they will rise. Oh. So if it takes me rising to deal with my overwhelm, you don't even understand what you're up against. You constantly say you're overwhelmed, but you don't understand what you're passing on. Stay there, fight, deal with that overwhelm. Deal with that overwhelm. Because when you don't deal with the overwhelm, you're passing it down again. So your grandmother, your great-grandmother, there's something that they came and that became of them, and it became your own narrative. Break it, fight it. Don't come into a system that has structure and you are complaining of it is too much. Do you know what brought you here might be up to 100 years of its history? Do you know what made you what you are today? That you are quiet, that you are timid. Do you know it may be 100 years of history? So you are saying that they should just do one, you should want to just do and get out of it. You will stand and you will fight that fight for yourself. I'm not talking from a place of perfection, but I'm talking from a place that I am rooted here. I'm grounded. Until I fight this fight and I win this fight, I'm not stopping. Because I have been stopped for too long. No more stopping, no more breaking, no more hiding. Let's just go on. The vision, the shepherd's vision, it leads you to rest and joy. It leads you to purpose, satisfies your soul. So when you're in a place of constant overwhelm, be sincere with yourself. Just say it. I'm not really living the shepherd's vision for my life. How can I live that shepherd's vision for my life? When you are living the shepherd's vision, is a vision of life. You are alive all the time. You are in abundance. You are restored. You live in truth. When you are living the shepherd's vision, he knows your name and he calls you towards him with love and not pressure. So you see that pressure. Ask yourself, whose vision are you living for your life? When you're constantly facing pressure, something happens, you have collapsed. Something happens, you have disintegrated. No, I'm sorry, but before I used to say we're only human. I'm no longer in that school of thoughts. Because if what God created was good, my life has to be good. Because I am a mother does not erase me. It invites you to live fully. That's the shepherd's vision. Not perfectly. We're not talking about perfection. We're not saying that there's a what's the word? There's an absence of trouble. No. But even in trouble, your nervous system is reset. It finds ease. It finds peace. Even in trouble, you're not shaking. You're not overwhelmed, overburdened. That's not the vision of the shepherd. You choose the shepherd's vision when you choose wholeness over hustle. You see hustle culture? You're choosing wholeness over hustle. So you're not choosing something just because the thing pays so well. You're choosing wholeness. You're living your life because that's purpose. You're doing something because it's in your purpose. So you eliminate. You see, when I was listening to Eunice's testimony, she said, I learned how to eliminate the things that don't matter. Some of these things that don't matter that we put in our schedule is the things that cause us overwhelm. It's the things that would not allow us to be empowered. It's the thing that will not allow us to rise. So if you're in the inner circle, you will know to learn to remove the extras. You see, Martha and Mary. Martha said, Jesus, you don't care about me. You don't care about me. See how I'm going everywhere, trying to make you samosa and poundo. You don't even care. See, I'm serving. She did 3-course meal. She did samosa in the morning. She did this, she did that. Jesus was like, why is she doing busybody like Debbie when she was a baby, when she was a child? Why is she doing busybody? He said Mary had chosen that one thing. When you join us in the inner circle, you will know that you will choose that one thing that will simplify your life and remove pressure from you. You will learn it. You will learn it. You will learn to remove extra friendship when not get head, extra things when that don't give you peace. You are constantly with people that steal your joy. Why? Come out from them. You're not a tree, as Coach Wendy will say. Move. You're constantly in discussions or conversations that drain you. Come on. You're constantly scrolling onto things that kill your spirit, that have no life, that give you that remove the fullness of life. Jesus is trying to give you fullness of life, but it removes the fullness of life. It reduces you. Come out of it. When you're walking in the shepherd's vision, you walk in alignment. You see, overwhelm comes when there's no alignment, not alignment with anybody, alignment inside of you. When your body, your spirit, and your soul are not doing the one thing you were born for, that's when overwhelm comes. There's no alignment. Your spirit is desiring one thing, your body is desiring one thing, your soul is desiring one thing. There's no alignment even in you as a tripartite being. There's no alignment. Why won't you be overwhelmed? How would you be empowered? So now I want you to ask yourself these questions before I go on. I think I over prepared for this class because I'm not even halfway in my notes and I have only 15 minutes. But I'm going to stop where I stop, and that's fine. So sometimes I think it's been coming since I got the topic. Things have been coming to my mind and I'd been writing notes and I'd written. I didn't even realize how much I had written, but let's just go on. Whose voice do I follow most often? Is it the one that drains me or is it the one that restores me? Am I living a life based on truth or am I living a life based on survival patterns? Where have I let this thief to steal my joy, my voice, all my dreams? What does the shepherd's abundant life look like for me in the season that I am? And where have I lived muted? Where am I living drained? Where am I living driven by fear? Am I parenting from a place of fear? Am I parenting from a place of I'm constantly tired? The day my daughter had to describe me and she said, Mom, you're always tired. I said, it's that thing that I learned growing up. My mom was always saying I'm tired. And it's not I'm tired of you. It's just something I think I inherited. We moms and we just like, I'm tired. I had to change that voice. I had to change that because you're not, what are you passing on? What are you passing on? Yes, we know it ends with you, but are you taking the steps that make it actually end with you? So when you're overwhelmed, you don't even realize that there's a thief who is at your door, who doesn't want you to live that life of abundance. Let's go on. We're going to be looking briefly at, overwhelm and the thief's imprints. So trauma, overwhelm, and the thief's imprints. Most of the times trauma is inherited, and usually it's unprocessed. I think we're one of the first generations of people that would go and look for healing, but our parents' healing care, what is that? That's how my parents said, that's how we were. So they passed it on. It leaves an imprint on how we see ourselves, how we move through life, and what we believe we deserve. So when trauma is left unhealed, it becomes the thief, the inner thief that steals from you. It steals your sense of safety. You're constantly in hypervigilance mode. It kills your inner voice. It destroys your ability to rest. It destroys your ability to dream. It destroys your ability to receive or love freely. So if you're here, I'm very sure that the healing from trauma course will happen again next year. I will ask you, this is so profound. You see how the society is, you see how Nigeria is. There was this thing that came to my mind as I was driving this week in Reading. There's this particular, on the bus lane, you're not supposed to drive on the bus lane, but there was a sign that says bus lane not in use both lanes. But we are so conditioned to not drive in bus lanes that nobody even saw the sign. And I noticed that we were all driving the correct way, even though the sign says bus. You see, they've been conditioned, to obey rules. But look at the chaos that happens. You're driving on a street that says one way. Somebody is coming to you. A bus is coming to you with head on, coming to you head on, like up, and is even insulting you. We're such a people that we have come to normalize the nonsense. You see, it's when you go on social media. I used to be scared of social media because I'm like, I cannot handle this level of calamity and insult and unrest. But it becomes now it becomes an imprint. It's the way we are. So you see that bus lane, if it was there, that bus lane would not even exist, first of all. If it was in the other side of, if it was on the other side of the world, it won't even exist. People would have been doing anyhow. We inherited so much anyhowness. You say we are disciplined, but we're not. We inherited so much. So I was just looking at them and I was like, how are these people? There's no camera to enforce the law. There's a sign that clearly says, but we were all still driving right. How did we get there? And then the thing about trauma imprint, and it starts to masquerade as normal. So you start to look at certain behaviors. You're not able to look up to an adult's eyes, or you're not able to have eye contact. You start to see these things as normal. You see it as respect. You give it another name. You give it, you just dress it up in everything. Obviously, this class will not be enough to do all that, to do justice to this topic. But when you wake up feeling overwhelmed every day and yet underfulfilled, you're living that lie. You're living this 40 minutes is just for you to tell yourself, I'm no longer living the devil's vision. I will no longer live the devil's vision. You push yourself harder. They tell you need to push yourself harder, but you still feel invisible. You stay in survival mode because all your nervous system has ever known is survival mode. So any other thing that comes and looks different, you fight it. What's the shepherd's invitation? From imprint to identity. The shepherd speaks. The shepherd, who is the king also, he speaks a radically different vision. He came that you will have life and you will have it abundantly. Your voice, he restores your voice. He restores what trauma has erased. He restores stories from way before you were born. He restores you. He restores you. He restores you. So when he restores you, when you get restored, you are helping the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. So you see why we fight. You see why we are anxious. You see why we are adamant about you finding healing, about you finding peace, about you living in that abundance. Being empowered is living in that abundance. Living in your purpose is living in that abundance, because you will pass on this nonsense again to your children. You're not living in a default setting of overwhelm. Because you would learn what peace is. Peace like a river. The whole world may be crumbling. And the thing about this, let me say something. Let me use this story. See, now I'm rushing because I have too many slides. But let me say this story. When Hagar ran away from Sarah, and then she was in the wilderness, and God came. God didn't come and say, okay, I have seen you, now run away from your master. When God sent her back to Sarah. He sent her back to the place where there was resistance, where there was pressure. It's not for him to come and remove you from the place of pressure. He grows you in the place of pressure. So the pressure you face as a mom, the pressure you face as a dad, it's not to diminish you, it's to grow you. So when you have that perspective, when you have that mindset shift, you tell yourself that these things, you see, the children come as mirrors. It's an opportunity for you to refine yourself, because when you see your child behaving in a way that you don't want, check yourself. They are mirroring what you need to change. So living in abundance is not telling you that, okay, we're going to remove you from every trouble. We're going to remove you from every situation. We're going to remove you from every problem. No, it's about you finding peace, even in chaos. And it's such a beautiful place to be. It's such a beautiful place to be. So when you are thinking about your life, have the same vision with the shepherd. Have the same vision with the king. A life of abundance. I had other things, but I don't know how many more minutes I have. I think I have 2 more minutes. And whoa, this has gone really fast, and I'm not even halfway there. But I want you to see. I want you to have these empowerment anchors as we round off. Refuse to shrink. Tell yourself that I refuse to live a vision less than God has for my life. I refuse to pass on a shrunk vision also. I refuse to pass on a shrunk legacy. Give yourself permission to want more without guilt. Protect your peace. Start to unfollow voices online or in your life that stir self-doubt. If anybody laughs at your dream, unfollow them or stop. In fact, I give you permission to just cut them off. Write the truth. Journal the version of yourself that you're becoming. And start small. One sacred moment every day is enough to reclaim your power. One sacred moment. So start with small. Start small with journaling. Start small with, start small. Eunice was the one who said sometimes when I don't do, if I miss a journal for a day, I hear coach's voice and then she says things like, start where you are. Start small. So don't give yourself overwhelming, you've just heard 40 speakers and then you just want to give yourself one overwhelming assignment. Start small. Healing multiplies. Find sisterhood. Join the inner circle. Join masterpiece women. If you know, a lot of masterpiece women are on this group. Join groups that would make you to fulfill your assignment. Another thing that makes us overwhelmed is what I call the sandwich generation. Whenever my time is up, just come in. I would round off. But another thing that comes is the sandwich generation. We are overwhelmed with taking care of our parents and then taking care of this generation. So our children, we are sandwiched in between. And then we are expected to become our parents' pension plan. We have financial responsibility for everyone. So we are sandwiched. We are so stressed. And this thing comes, it cripples us. It cripples us. It presses us down. How can you start to rewrite this story? When Coach Chukwemeka came and he said, he was talking about financial independence, financial literacy. That's just such an apt message. Because if we don't break it, we don't like what our parents are doing to us, and it's not like we dishonor them. We don't like the financial pressure that they give to us. But to be honest, they didn't really plan for old age. They didn't. So we become so stressed. We become so sandwiched. But if we don't stand up and remove, you're saying you're overwhelmed, but you don't even understand what you're passing on with this overwhelm. You don't understand what you're passing on if it doesn't end with you, really. I know that there's a popular book, that says it ends with me. It didn't start with me, but it ends with me. But no, if you don't do it, you see this thing that our parents are doing to us, we will do it to our children again. Our children would, in quotes, become our pension plan. So we need to take this thing seriously. We need to fight that fight, not to live the thief's vision, not to live the thief's voice, but to live the king's mandate, to live the shepherd's voice, that we will be the ones to leave an inheritance for our children, not being stressed just because. They will not be stressed just because we are their parents. You need to name the patterns. What are the patterns that are happening in your own household? What are the patterns that happen in your own family? What are the patterns? Write down the expectations you inherited that no longer serve your mental, emotional, and financial health. I used to talk to my niece and I used to tell her that, this story about mental health, that's the Gen Z story. You just say mental. I'm not by any means pushing down mental health, but a lot of people just say mental health without getting a diagnosis from the doctor. So they don't have any diagnosis. They just use it as an excuse. So what are you passing on? If you are not building resilience, what are you passing on? If you're not building yourself, what are you passing on? If you're not finding your voice, what are you passing on? Another timid version of you, another disempowered version of you. Write down the expectations that no longer, write down your expectations, the expectations you inherited. These are the things that we do. I'm not saying don't take care of your parents, but write it down. Tell yourself, write it. This is what is going to stop with me. And my children are not going to grow up and it is me, that is them taking care of me. I'm going to deal with it now. Initiate courageous conversations. Set healthy boundaries with love, with clarity, with honor. Set healthy boundaries. You're there, you're so submerged. You're so, you're constantly stressed. Set healthy boundaries. They won't die. Some of the things they're even asking you for, they don't need it. Set healthy boundaries. Redefine what honor looks like. Create a new legacies. What everybody on this in this conference has been saying. Create a new legacy. Create it. Ask for help. Whether you need emotional help, some of you will not spend money to go in for coaching. Some of you will not spend money to go in for one-to-one. Some of you would not rather, do less. Just you're afraid of spending on yourself. That's a trauma by itself. Ask for help. Some of you want free help. There's nothing good. There's nothing free in Freetown. You want free help. Well, ask for help. Asking for help doesn't mean it has to be free. Sit down with a coach, sit down with somebody and outline the things that have stopped you thus far, because you cannot continue to do things the same way and expect a different result. Start financial healing. Join the Money Clique. Address these things head on. They're very difficult conversations, but you need to do them. So there's one thing I'm going to end with, and I'm going to say, it says, when he created everything, he said everything was good. Motherhood is good. Motherhood is good. Whatever season it is that you're in your life, you're not meant to be erased. You're not meant to just cut yourself. I mean, you're not meant because you have kids, your whole family, your whole life is cut off. No. In the daily things that you do with your children, you're also setting legacies for them. You're also building destinies. You're starting you are doing sacred work. So I don't want you to see yourself as just a mom or just a parent. I don't want you to see yourself in the lens of how the world sees yourself. I don't want you to see yourself in the lens of the way the enemy sees you. Tell yourself, I rise today. Because when I rise, I give my children, I give permission to generations after me to rise. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful, amazing. I rise today. I believe the comment section is bustling with that energy. Thank you so much, Ma. Coach Debbie, we appreciate you for this word of wisdom. Thank you for an awesome session. We are very grateful, Ma. TIP family, appreciate our speaker. I believe you have gotten value. What is the one thing that you have learned from this training just now? What will you do differently? For me, I'm going to itemize LD boundary, because you need to say no to some unnecessary thing. And you need to also unfollow negative voices that can drag you down. Yes, you can avoid being overwhelmed. Thank you so much, Ma. We appreciate the session. God bless you and renew you the more while we go on a water break. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
Two years ago, I found myself reflecting on my parenting journey. Unsure, overwhelmed, stressed out, not knowing what to do next. I was in need of a community, a space, a family that would help me along my parenting journey. Thankfully, I came across the Intentional Parent Academy. Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Sarah Monomo, a returning level 1 Yarda from Luanshya, Zambia. If you were looking for a place or a home that will grow alongside you, regardless of how old your children are, TIP is definitely the answer. It is never too early, neither is it too late to join the Ark of Safety. What the Inner Circle program has provided for me is the strategies, the tools, the structure, the resources necessary for every single step of my parenting journey. We engage on a daily basis because parenting is daily. If you are outside this community, I urge you, I encourage you to join the Inner Circle today. Do so with haste. I am so glad that my husband has been able to join. I have my younger sister as well who has joined TIP, because I believe that parenting should never be done alone. It should be done together. And TIP is that community for you. Again, join today and we'll see you in the Ark.
Yes, join the TIP today. Let us see you in the hack. As you can hear from our coach that just spoke now, Coach Debbie, she also is still one of us, not was. She's still in the yard. Yes, cohort 1A. Where are my yarders? So we are all in cohort 1A. And you can see the transformation. During the webinar just now, she mentioned something that if you know me in the year past, you'll be wondering who is speaking. Yes, it's a process. As you follow on the tools, the webinar, the worksheets, because I remember that's another one-on-one reflection, your daily journaling. Yes, in the yard, in the inner circle, you see yourself transform. As you behold, you are becoming from glory to glory. Thank you so much, Ma, for that wonderful session.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, Ma. My TIP family, what will you say to our Coach Debbie? Appreciate our coach for an awesome session. We want to ask for one or two questions before we go for the next session. Is there any question from the training? You can drop it in the comment section while our coach will attend to it. Yes, while we expect the question to come up, I want to encourage you, if you're not yet in the yard, join the yard now. You can register for the inner circle. And apart from that, you can join with a token. You can see it on the screen. Book your slots with as little as 10,000, and you can be paying the rest instrumentally before December 2025 to join the 2026 cohort section. We want to appreciate our speaker. Because of time, we will not be able to take questions for now. I want you to know that you can avoid being overwhelmed, just as we have heard from the speaker. You need to stay connected, connection to yourself, because when your spirit, soul, and body are not aligned, when there is no alignment, there will always be disconnection that results from trauma. And remember, one of the cause, healing from childhood trauma, as we have been taught in the webinar. So before we go, man, we want you to give your last word for us for the day. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me. And the fullness of life that we were promised is from someone who is reliable. So we've been promised the fullness of life. Fullness of life is what you've been promised. It says, but I have come that I will give you life in abundance. I will give you full life. So when you're not living a full life, start to ask questions. Where's the shortage coming from? Where's the not being full coming from? Go back to him, because he has the answers. And as you sit down, as you reflect, you will see where life is being leaked, or where things are being leaked, and where you're not. You're either living the fullness of life or you're not. Not many people do, unfortunately. So we think it's normal to be stressed, to be angry and everything. I'm not yet there. And for every day I wake up, I say, is this the fullness that has been promised to me? I need to live that fullness that has been promised to me. And I take that fullness with all seriousness, because he's trustworthy. I can bank on his word. So if he says I'm going to live a fullness of life, look, I'm not here to live anything less than that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. You remind me of a song, I can be less of what you made me. Yes, we can be less of what he made us. You are meant to live your life to the fullest. I am born for such a time like this, to live my life to the fullest. Thank you for this awesome session, Coach Debbie. We appreciate you. Please go to the group chat for the next session as we go on now. Thank you, and stay tuned as you learn more in this conference. I am Kolawole Olufunke.
You spend so much time doing everything for everyone, holding your family together, showing up. You spend so much time doing everything for everyone, holding your family together, showing up for work, managing life's never-ending expectations. somewhere along the way you stopped showing up for yourself, your dreams put on hold, your passion silent, your identity fading. But no one tells you this. Life will not slow down so you can catch up. You keep telling yourself, one day I'll get back to me. But one day becomes years, and before you know it, you can barely recognize yourself or the woman in the mirror. It is time to stop waiting. It is time to start evolving. As your discovery coach, we help women like you break free from the mindset of I am just a mom, I am just a wife, and I am just a worker, because you are so much more than you can see yourself now. You have gifts, talents, and a calling waiting to spring forth. And we don't just inspire you, we equip you with the tools, mindsets, and strategies to help you to your next level. So hey mamas, let's start living.
Common phrases in the inner circle. Let's go.
You're coming for an inner circle webinar, and you're not with your yellow blanket with red trimmings. Is that even a joke?
Oh, I'm running and I'm not looking back because 10,000 lions are chasing me. I have watched all the webinars, but today, Coach came with a bazooka.
Even with my humility agbada, I still collected.
If you're not in the ark, you better enter now because flood na bia o.
In the inner circle, we dey walk and they show.
CIP police is coming for you. There is no need harness here.
You definitely cannot relate because you are not in the yard.
If you are not in the yard,
why not?